At Radial, we are building a national network to accelerate access to the world's most advanced FDA-approved and FDA-cleared treatments for the totality of various mental health disorders that folks might have. And it's important because today in psychiatry, the science is no longer the problem. We have treatments that fundamentally work far more effectively than anything else that we have in market. And the challenge is that the underlying infrastructure that exists is wholly not designed for this new category of treatments. Things like transcranial magnetic stimulation or TMS, a neuromodulation treatment, or things like Spravato, a rapid acting medication. And this company is broadly about helping accelerate access to this entire category of medicine and do so in a way that is delightfully simple to the consumer. I've spent the entirety of my career at the intersection of healthcare and technology. I was diagnosed with Crohn's as an 8-year-old, and I've been a patient for the better part of my life. And I have also struggled with my own mental health, and it led me down a rabbit hole to learn more about what this field of medicine is doing to deliver fundamentally better treatments to patients that actually work. And it became very clear that we have just not one, but two wholly new categories of treatments coming online. Neuromodulation treatments. So these are devices that work with the brain to manage conditions like PTSD or depression. And then we have rapid acting medications or psychedelics, as the category is often referred to, that wholly rewire the brain, again, in a way that is fundamentally more effective for treating things like depression and anxiety and so forth. And I became really excited to take my collective learnings in my career, where I started helping build a pharmacy called PillPack, and then worked at Amazon, and then helped build a different company in healthcare, sort of taking the collective learnings of building businesses that make really complex things very simple for the consumer, and applying that towards an area of medicine and healthcare that's very near and dear to my heart. And I've been building this company with Elliot Cohen, who's the co-founder and CTO of PillPack. And we have alongside us as co-founders, two amazing clinicians, Dr. Owen Muir and Dr. Carly McMillan, both of whom are some of the most accomplished, well-researched physicians and researchers in the space, period. So that's broadly how we thought about the winding journey to the space and why we're excited about this and how we think about the opportunity. Our goal last year that we achieved and unlocked this fundraise, candidly, was about demonstrating we had a high quality, repeatable care model for helping customers in multiple markets or states access these treatments in a delightfully simple way. And what that meant leading into the fundraise is taking what at the beginning of the year was a single clinic with no software in Brooklyn and building the early trappings of a network in New York, in South Carolina, in Missouri, in Tennessee, treating many customers with a range of FDA-approved and FDA-cleared devices and medications, all covered by insurance, and building the first versions of our software that most importantly make it really easy for the customer to access care. And then secondly, make it equally easy for our clinical and operational teams to manage that care journey. And we had to demonstrate, one, that we could build an amazing team of clinicians and operational staff to support them alongside an equally amazing team of product managers, engineers, designers. Two, we had to demonstrate that we could find customers that had more treatment-resistant forms of depression or anxiety or OCD. And three is we had to demonstrate we could take a model that worked in a single clinic in a single state and replicate that in several markets. We did just that across all those dimensions in a very short period of time. And it became clear both at the leadership team level and our board that there was a really exciting opportunity to more meaningfully accelerate our path to scale nationally this year. And so the fundraise broadly was about raising capital to continue doing the amazing care that we deliver in each of the clinics, but do so on a much larger scale. Secondly, it was about continuing to invest more deeply in building the right refined end-to-end set of software that makes that experience delightfully simple for consumers. And then three, really start to unlock what it looks like to generate more awareness and demand for the set of services that we offer nationally. I feel very lucky. I enjoy deeply working alongside every single institutional investor and angel on our cap table. I feel very proud of the group that we've got around the table. And we first got to know the team at GC during the seed in April of 24. I was introduced to GC through one of our investors at Box Group, who introduced us to an angel who joined the round, who then in turn introduced us to GC. So it was a circuitous series of introductions. And we've been very grateful and lucky to work with them since the seed, and then obviously now in the A as a lead. And what I think is really unique about their team is they have a very deep set of expertise in healthcare, and they have a very novel perspective on what investing in healthcare businesses looks like. Most traditional venture investors will invest in healthcare businesses that usually are software and services businesses, period. Very few of them will invest in businesses that have a physical four-wall component. And GC, both in Radial and their other investments, very clearly has a different thesis on what healthcare venture investing looks like. And we share that belief, obviously, by virtue of how we're building this business. And that's how we became both in touch with the team and how we got excited to go work with them on the journey. There are many paths to generating awareness about this space. And it's a pretty fascinating set of problems because you've got really two dynamics that you're dealing with for customers or patients. The first is you've got an awareness problem. Most of these FDA approved or FDA cleared treatments that we offer in clinic today are covered by insurance, as I mentioned, but collectively they have less than 5% market penetration for the diseases with which they're approved to treat. And what that suggests is most people don't know about them. And these are treatments that have existed for decades in the case of TMS, been around since the 80s, and at least a decade for Spravato, the rapid acting medications based on formulation of ketamine. And so a lot of our efforts right now are about helping tell the story first and foremost of what these conditions are. Like, what is depression? What is anxiety? What is OCD? Like, we hear these terms used pejoratively in society today, but helping individual customers identify with what it is that they're feeling, how and why, and putting a name behind it is step one. Step two is then introducing the range of treatments that are available, covered by insurance or not, that have evidence behind them, and making it very clear to the consumer how they should evaluate these set of options. What looks like a normal set of treatments in cardiology or GI, Greek, or might as well be Greek to folks in behavioral health. And so it's about helping the consumer understand in very plain language just what these different things are, how they work. And then lastly, it's about helping the consumer understand how to take the right next step in their care journey. How do they book an appointment? How do they talk to their caregiver or their loved ones about these treatments? How do they understand the costs, and how do they make the decision that's right for them? Practically speaking, that medium can take a lot of forms. We do work in long form writing on our blog, which you can see. We are starting to produce videography that helps customers tell their story in a video format or audio format. There's work we've done on holding events local to the community. There's work we've done to advertise digitally online. Our perspective in mental health, is you both can probably relate to, is that there's no one channel where you can reach all these folks. A set of conditions knows no bounds. It affects everyone of all walks of life and perspectives and so forth. And so we have to be really good at engaging the wide array of online, offline things that could otherwise be used to reach folks. When it comes to hiring, you wouldn't find a CEO that wouldn't say, send me your smart, ambitious, hungry folks. Like, that is, count me among that list of CEO founders. Practically speaking, we're hiring in operations, we're hiring in finance, we're hiring in marketing. We're hiring on our clinical team. We're hiring in business operations, and we're hiring in product engineering and design. So in general, across most of the core functions of the business. And I'm proud to build a large part of this company in New York, although we have obviously clinics across the country in various states. But this is an amazing place to hire our teams. And I feel very lucky to have the chance to do just that.